we're exactly a month into the season now, so we're going to kick this off with a bang. Give me your hottest Mariners take right now.
Firstly, thank you, boys, for having me on. I really enjoyed our conversation that we had on my show, and I'm glad that we're able to do this again. Hottest take, Josh Rojas is an all-star.
How awesome would that be if the Mariners all of a sudden, just out of thin air, had one all-star caliber infielder? He's on the shelf right now, but JP will come back. And then Rojas comes out. I mean, he continues to just do this. Like, there's no... Yeah. And then Jerry can go around and say, yeah, well, obviously, that's why I've been trying to trade for Josh for 2 years, because this is the kind of stuff this guy has in him.
Right. And I mean, we saw towards the end of last year, he made the swing change and he started to produce a lot more so in August than in September. But still, like, we started to kind of see this version of Josh Rojas develop. And then, yeah, he's been fantastic this year. Now, on the all-star front, I think right now, like, he has been one of the best third basemen in all of baseball. I wonder how much of him being part of a platoon, though, is going to impact his chances of being recognized on that kind of level. But he's had a great year, and I mean, he's been a massive boon for this team when, you know, Mitch Garver isn't really producing right now. Jorge Polanco's not really producing. Like, they've needed Josh Rojas and Luis Arias as well to a certain degree in order to kind of stay afloat offensively.
What's funny is him and JP at their peaks aren't too dissimilar as hitters. They feel similar.
Yeah, like they have very good understandings of the strike zone. They have about 15 to 20 homer pop, right? Like, yeah, they're fairly similar hitters when you really think about it. I think JP's going to walk more than Josh, but overall, yeah, I think it is a pretty similar overall profile.
You know, it's funny just seeing the reaction at the ballpark this weekend, and people obviously were thrilled to see Gino back in town. He was such a fan favorite. We all know that. And just seeing it for myself, just from the human standpoint, I certainly said, yeah, it's easy to forget just how loved Gino was in this city and by his teammates, by this fan base. But also with that, seeing what Rojas has done, seeing what Urias has done, I hope people can come to the conclusion of you can miss Gino, but also understand from the baseball standpoint that there is good reason that they moved on from him. And we're seeing it with the platoon right now.
Oh, yeah. Emotionally speaking, I still miss Gino. Right. Love Gino. Wish he was, wish there was a way that he could be a part of this thing still. But, while the trade was undeniably partly made for salary purposes, I think there was truly another side of that trade that was made because they thought Gino had hit the cliff, or he was approaching the cliff at least. And so far, through the first 28 games or however many Gino's played, it seems like they're right on that front. Now, a lot of things can change in a short amount of time because we're still so early on in the season, but Gino hasn't been that good. I think he's running somewhere around an 80 WRC plus right now. I know the defensive metrics haven't been a big fan of him, unlike last year. And, Rojas on the flip side of that has been excellent, like we talked about. And when he's not playing and Urias has come in, Urias hasn't had a ton of hits, but he's made a pretty large impact. He's had a couple of big home runs. He's struck out quite a bit. I feel like his quality of plate appearances has been overall pretty good. Like he seems to have a generally pretty good understanding of the strike zone. I've been fairly impressed with Urias as well, but it seems like right now, the Mariners kind of, they made a bet this offseason that Gino was kind of reaching the end and that Rojas and Urias, some combination of those two guys gave him a better shot. And so far it seems like they've made good on that bet so far. So see how it continues. But like I said, right now, like that third base spot, like that's kind of in a way been a saving grace for this team.